welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Steven. Today's episode, we're going to talk about what an enhanced Boehm clarinet is, and also what a full Boehm clarinet is, compared to what's called a standard Boehm clarinet. Now, the standard Boehm clarinet is the clarinet that most people are used to seeing. And the reason we're talking about it is I had an email the other day from someone wanting to know what their clarinet was. And we'll be getting that in a minute. So don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe, like, and share afterwards. So let's get started. So if you play clarinet, you're probably familiar with the keywork on a clarinet. Nothing unordinary here that we see. All your bandmates have one. But manufacturers also make what's called an enhanced Boehm and also a full Boehm clarinet. So a couple days ago, I got an email from a subscriber basically saying they're trying to identify the clarinet for years, and based on the serial number listed, they can identify it as a Buffet PR13 around 1938, but they can't find anything of what they're looking at. They attached photos for me, and the serial number was a 25,000 serial number. And my reply is basically, yes, the serial number is a 1938 clarinet, and it's shown as a PR13 clarinet as shown on my website. Now let's take a look at some pictures of her clarinet. So here we can see the sheet trill key guide. Nothing special here. Lower joint. And here we go. What we have here is some extra keywork. Looking at a regular clarinet here, we can see in the picture there's two sliver keys here, whereas a regular standard Boehm only has one. And if you look up here above the top pad cup, you will see another keypad here, and you'll see the C sharp G sharp key on the lower joint, not the upper joint. Also, you look at the side keys, you'll see an extra key here, E flat lever. So this C sharp G sharp key basically is connected to the first sliver key. The first sliver key can also trill the C sharp G sharp key in addition to your left hand pinky. So you have multiple methods of doing that. And of course you have the extra E flat key. You can hit it with not just your right hand pinky, but also your left hand pinky. So that's extra keywork and extra flexibility. It does create extra problems though. A regular emblem here. So we can see here we have a lifter right here to lift up the E flat key from this extra key. Nothing extra there. And the tenon is basically a full metal tenon going inside. I don't really like full metal tenon sleeves like that because the cork can start slipping and you can easily rotate your upper and lower joint. And on these clarinets, you don't want to rotate the joints at all because the lower joint has the C sharp G sharp key, which goes through to a hole in the tenon of the upper joint. And we can see it over here. You can see how thinner the tenon is to the upper joint compared to normal. On the upper joint, we can see some additional keywork here. You can see the sliver key actually pushes down on that little speaker key there. And you can see that the lowest key there, this CG key, is actually offset and has a ring around it. And if you look above the middle ring key, you see that key has an adjuster on top of it. So what happens is basically your third ring key now can close the one vent key between the two top ring keys. And your sliver key can close that other vent key right there. This lets the player have some alternate keywork, alternate fingerings that they want. Oh, and let's not forget, look at the tenon right here. You see a hole that's in it. So the upper and lower joint have to be aligned, otherwise you can make the note flat and have some weird resistance there. But this is the clarinet that I have. Let's look at some other documentation. This is a document for the Selmer Paris Centered Tone clarinet. I just realized they misspelled in English, at least, centered tone clarinet. Anyways, down here you can see different model numbers: 01, 02, 04, 06, 08. The 01 is regular 17 key 6 rings. The 02 is 17 key 7 rings with a 4th E flat B flat. 804 is an 18 key 7 rings articulated G sharp and 4th E flat B flat. 06 is an 18 key 7 rings articulated G sharp, 4th E flat B flat, and extra E flat A flat lever for the left pinky key. And the 08 is the 20 key full Boehm, 7 rings, full improved Boehm system with articulated G sharp, 4th E flat B flat, extra E flat A flat lever, and low E flat key. So if we scroll down a bit, you can see this is a standard Boehm on the left. And this inset picture shows the 02, 04, and 08. See, it looks standard on the lower joint here. On the upper joint, the sliver key has that bent key there, it closes. And you notice the 3rd ring here. So 7 rings, basically you got your thumb hole, which is the 1st ring. And then normally 5 rings in the front, so 5 plus 1 is 6. The C G key is your 7th ring, 8th ring. I lost count, 7 rings. And 804, basically you look at the lower joint now, you see a sliver key between the 2 ring keys. And the C sharp G sharp key is now on the lower joint. That means that the touch piece is also in the lower joint. And the 808, you look down here on the right hand pinky key, you'll see an extra lever there for an extended range. And you'll see the E flat key up here from the left pinky key. Now on other brand clarinets, LeBlanc, and over the years even Selmer, when it came to Enhanced Boehm, you basically have Standard Boehm and Full Boehm, and the options in between could have been mixed or matched, it seems, depending upon what the brand offered at that time. So an Enhanced Boehm is any of the options between a Full Boehm and Standard Boehm. This is a Selmer Centered Tone. Let's look at another one. Now here are pictures of my full Boehm clarinet. It's okay. Pre-R13. You can tell it's a pre-R13 without seeing an emblem just by looking at, remember, the throat keys. It has 3 posts, shares 1 post, and has flat sheet trill key guides here. You can see a little bit more clear here the tone hole in the upper joint's lower tenon, as that key is now on the lower joint. So the extra key work and everything. Now full Boehm clarinets were liked by pit orchestra players. Easier to translate other instruments, and you have full Boehm and extra key, a little bit more range. It's also handy if you have any hand issues. Like I sprained my right hand's pinky once, I couldn't use it. So I use all my left hand pinky to cover all the key work instead of my right hand pinky. Here we can see the upper joint again on the right hand side. Has a thin tenon with a ring around it to provide some stiffness, because it is a thinner joint now, thinner tenon, especially the hole in it. The hole evolved from a round hole to a round hole with a enforced square ring around it. Here's the upper joint. You can see the extra key work, the adjuster here for that key there. Lower joint. Now the trouble with this key work in some brands, I think it was a Buffet especially, was that you really had to have the pads inset into the key cups. Otherwise, you may lose some venting ability and hear a lot of air rush and sound a little bit flat. And this particular lower joint tenon was completely metal lined, as you can see here. Now we're going to look at my old Selmer Centered Tone Enhanced Boehm. This one does not have the extra key on the right hand lower joint pinky, but it has all the other keywork. So nothing on the right hand pinky, but it has the extra sliver key here for the C sharp, G sharp, and the C sharp, G sharp key is on the lower joint, so you can trill it with the left hand pinky or the right hand middle finger. And you can see this one has a square cutout around the round hole. A little bit of reinforcement there. Third ring, sliver key lowers and closes the vent key there. Adjuster here on that key there. So this is an enhanced Boehm with all the options, minus the left hand E flat pinky key. It's not there. I had one center tone that did have the E flat extra lever there. Closer look of the upper joint. Here is another clarinet of mine, a 1937 clarinet, Enhanced Boehm. You can see the extra keywork on the upper joint. Shared trill key guide. This one did not have an adjuster on the throat key here. Older models like I think 1939 was when Buffet made a standard of an adjuster for the throat key. Before that, it was here, there, but mostly not there. So you really had to make sure your adjustment pads were correct, make sure the venting was correct, and then you could use a little bit of either felt or cork between the two keys to get rid of any gap. You can see here a little bit closer to the upper joint, the extra ring, the sliver key pushing down the vent key. In this case, there's no adjuster on the top no pad key. You can see the lower joint. This one does not have the sliver key for trilling the C sharp, G sharp key on the lower joint. It only has the standard C sharp, G sharp key on the lower joint without the extra trill key between the two upper rings. So this is an enhanced Boehm without the extra lower joint sliver key. Carl Fischer, New York. Anyways, with Buffet, you'll see numbers related to R13, R13.5, R14, R16, and that's related to the type of keywork that's being used. I have the information on my website, which one's which, if you want to take a look, clarinetperfection.com. Anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about today, the difference between a standard Boehm, enhanced Boehm, and a full Boehm clarinet. I want to thank you for listening today. Any questions or comments, please post them down below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Gotta love knowledge, gotta love life, gotta love clarinets. We'll see you next time.